Kathy Waite here, your net worth manager, Fiona Financial Planner. Quick explanation of what is SPIVA, S-P-I-V-A. So Standard & Poor's Indexing versus Active. This is a scorecard that comes out every 6 months. It's completely independent. Their product is research. They don't sell products, so we can trust what we're reading. It's been going on for 15 years and they survey more than 10,000 actively managed funds. So in Canada, most of us buy Canadian or US, and if you look at this, it tells you that over a 5-year period, 91.91% of funds underperformed the S&P 500. What that means is that if you and I had gone and bought the top 500 companies in Canada, we would have done better than 91.91% of US mutual funds. Only 8.09% beat the market. If we have a look at Canada, we can see here in the last year 73.58, over 5 years 71.23. So 71% of funds underperformed the TSX, the biggest 250 or so companies in Canada. 28.77% managed to do better than just the benchmark. I kind of think of it as if you had a car that only started 1 in 4 times, if 70% of the time your car didn't work properly, you would be out shopping for a new car. And so you have to say to yourself, why do people stick with things that it's been proved they don't work? You know, there's 100 years worth of research telling us that active funds often don't beat the market, and when they do, they don't do it consistently. And the main reason is that you never get shown this. On your statements, it just says you made 10% or you lost 5%. It doesn't compare it to anything. So you don't actually know if that was quite good or if that was really bad. And no other industry really gets away with this. If you bought a fridge, it would tell you how energy efficient it was. When you buy a truck, they have mileage and fuel consumption measured in a way that all the truck dealers have to use. So it doesn't actually matter that the truck may never achieve 400 miles per gallon, but they're all measuring it in the same, so it gives you a benchmark. So it really bugs me that here in Canada we have so little transparency and people really are not shown exactly how their funds are doing compared to the benchmark. So here is the actual PDF version of the report if you prefer it, and it is written from a Canadian perspective. So it does kind of say if something's been going on, like it talks about the seesawing market, it will split it out into dividend and income. It also tells us if there's certain things that we should be looking at. And kind of note is this, where it says if you have a US fund, which is run by a Canadian manager, so a Canadian mutual fund that invests in the US, not a single one beat the S&P in 5 years. So when we looked at US funds in the US, it was 9%, but there's not a single US fund run by a Canadian manager that beat the US stock market. So it talks here about survivor buyership, apples to apples comparisons, and it kind of breaks down all the figures if you do actually want to see this. So SPIVA, it's basically a scorecard that's published every 6 months by Standard & Poor's, and it tells us how many active funds in all the different countries and asset classes actually manage to beat the benchmark. And the benchmark is just another word for the broad market.